There are dozens of different effects in Adobe Premiere Pro, and so many of them can really help improve, enhance, and change the way your video looks. And while I can't show you all of them in this training, I definitely encourage you to check out as many as you can. You now have the knowledge and the tools you need to experiment as much as you want. There are a couple of effects, however, that are really useful and I did want to call out. And one of them is the warp stabilizer effect. I am going to use that down here in this section where I have some shaky footage. I'm going to play this for you. So this tilt up is pretty shaky and I would like to smooth that out as much as I can. So I'll select this clip and go to the Effect Controls panel, and I'm going to apply the Warp Stabilizer effect. So I'm just going to come in here and type warp. There it is, and I'll apply it. You'll notice here that it says Analyzing in Background Step 1 of 2, and this happens automatically. What that did was it went through each of the frames of the clip and analyzed the footage for the shakiness. It's literally figuring out where and how each pixel is moving. So once it's done analyzing, it then goes through and determines how it can position the frame so that it remains relatively still. So let's play back and see how it did with the default values. All right, not bad. It's definitely less shaky, but it's a little warpy, which we can fix. So I'm gonna come down here where I can see some parameters. You'll see that the warp stabilizer effect has quite a few parameters. We're going to take a look at a couple of these here. Specifically, I want to take a look at smoothness. I'm going to twirl that down. And right now it's at 50%. So you can give it less smoothness and it's going to kind of preserve a little bit more of the shake. Or you could give it more smoothness, which means that it's going to take away more of the shake. And when you do that, whenever you move any of these values, it doesn't have to reanalyze it. That only happens once, but it does go through step 2 again. It reprocesses it, restabilizes it. So I'm going to play that again with just a little bit more smoothness. I went from 50 to 77%. And it's still just a little bit warpy there. I'll go for the full 100% here. One thing I might want to change is the method from subspace warp to this one right here, position, scale, and rotation. Again, it reprocesses it and we can take a look here. Before I play this again, I want to basically draw your attention towards exactly what is happening. And I'm going to do that by coming down to borders. Right now it says stabilize, crop, and auto scale. I'm going to change this to stabilize only and take a look here in the frame so that we can see kind of what's going on. I'll just scrub through this and you can take a look at the edges. So you can see that there's plenty of black around the image because it's doing a lot of math. It's performing really complicated algorithms to keep the image centered in the middle, which means that it's moving it around and trying to accommodate for that. So again, we see the black edges when we play through it. If I choose stabilize and crop, you'll see that it basically took all of the values that it needed to crop things so that it would uniformly have a black line around it. And you can see here what that looks like. And then finally, the way that it actually works is that it's going to zoom in so that we don't see any black. So finally, that is stabilize, crop, and auto scale. So watch this image zoom in. So it took that crop and now the crop is out of view. And we can take a look down here at how much it actually scaled it in, 123.2%. It's definitely a closer image than the original, but let's play it and see how we like it. All right, I definitely think that changing the method here from the subspace warp to the position, scale, and rotation helped us out so that that's a nice, smooth tilt up. So there you have it. The warp stabilizer is a really neat effect when you have shaky but otherwise well-shot footage. Now, if the footage isn't clean, you can end up with some pretty undesirable results. So just be aware of that when you apply it.